Hello. Welcome to Momentum Mondays series, where every Monday I will be releasing a video that is based off of the concept of making a small shift to create big change in your life. And the idea is that you leave these videos already having done some kind of action step to move you forward in whatever way you would like. So today we're going to actually be talking about how to get recognized at work. I feel like this has come up a lot in conversation recently with friends and family, and there's been this reoccurring theme of I'm working really hard, I'm doing really great work, but I'm not actually getting recognized for it. And one thing that I've learned over the past few years is that you could have amazing colleagues and be doing incredible work, but if you're not consistently advocating for yourself and making the work that you're doing known, it's going to be very challenging to move up the ladder if that is your goal. So I'm going to go through some action steps that you can take to get recognized at work. And I've been able to get 5 promotions in the past 4 years. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is making sure that your voice is heard at work and the importance of speaking up. It can be really hard, especially if you're new to a job or if you're more senior, to think that you don't have anything to offer, that everyone else in the room knows something more than you do. And when an idea pops up, to think someone's probably already thought of this, or maybe it's not a good idea. But what I want to say to you now is your ideas are valuable. Everyone has something to bring to the table and has their own unique perspective. Even when I was starting out as a junior software engineer, I would pair program with my colleague and bring things up in the code that he didn't see himself. He had been doing it for so long that he was blind to these other concepts. So something that I've learned is that we can all learn from each other no matter what level or what experience you have. I want you to choose one of these action steps that you can take at work. When you're in a meeting and you have an idea or a question, make sure to speak up. Don't just attend the meeting, actively participate in the meeting. Sometimes an opportunity to offer a little bit of your time or creative thinking can come up in a meeting. Offer to take on that project if it's something that you think will be interesting and that you have a lot to offer to. So right now, I want you to pause the video, think of the week that you have coming up, and think of how you can actively participate in a meeting, whether that be asking more questions, sharing your ideas, sharing your feedback, or if there's something that you foresee coming up as a project that you can volunteer for it. Is there something in a process at work that you see could be improved? Say something. Even if it's a really small task, this can go a long way. Okay, so the second point I want to make in this video is make sure people actually know what you're working on. If you feel like you're doing a really good job and it's going unnoticed, it could just be that people don't know about it. We're all tied up in our long to-do lists and things that we want to accomplish at work, that sometimes we miss the great things that other people are bringing to the work and the work environment. So there are a few things that you can do to make sure people know what you're working on. One is send regular updates to your manager or to your team on what you've been doing. And this doesn't have to be such a formal process. This could also just be like Slacking or sending a Teams message to a colleague of, by the way, this is what I'm working on this week, or this is what I've accomplished last week and I'm going to continue doing this week. Make sure that you also document all of your accomplishments. It's really easy to get very caught up in the work that you're doing, and once you finish something, move on to the next. But make sure that you have a working document somewhere where you're writing down that you've been doing. Something else that I do at work that doesn't directly talk about what I've been doing, but makes people aware of all of the work that I've been doing, is sometimes I need help, right? You need advice on how to move forward in a project. And if you ask someone that you really admire at work or you feel like can give you a lot of good ideas, don't be afraid to reach out to that person, right? In the end, we're all people in the workplace. Some people have more experience than others, but in the end, we're all just people who hopefully want to do a good job in the workplace and who want to help each other. So reach out, ask for advice, mention your way of thinking about whatever you're working on and what they think you should do. So for this part of the video, I want you to just pause the video and write down one way this week that you're going to make sure that people know what you're working on. Is that regular updates? Is that one-on-one meetings? Okay, next thing I want to talk about is taking initiative and really showing your leadership skills. If you're someone who wants to get recognized at work, maybe you want to go the route of climbing up the ladder, being able to make a bigger impact at work. And this is similar to one of the points that we made earlier about speaking up about your ideas and sharing your feedback. Taking initiative can go such a long way in getting recognized at work. A lot of people just go through their day to day and complete their work, and what's done is done. And that's honestly a fine approach, right? But if you're looking to get promoted or get recognized and eventually want to become a leader in the workplace, taking initiative is crucial. One thing that I really like to do that has proven super beneficial is just take a look at current processes. Is there frustration around something? Is there something you think could really be improved? And then instead of just thinking about it, take action steps to identify an area that could be improved, propose a solution, and take initiative of following through with that solution. Okay, so pause the video. Think of something at work that you feel like could be improved. And lastly, I'm sure you work with some really great people. I work with some really great people. Just develop a genuine interest in your colleagues. In the end, we are all just people working together trying to accomplish probably the same goal. And it's really worthwhile getting to know your colleagues and developing a great working relationship with them. And again, I know if you're a little bit junior, you're just entering the workforce, it could feel really intimidating to reach out to someone who has been in the workforce for longer than you. But I always remember we're all people and we can all learn from each other. And so one of my favorite things to do is if I see someone that I really admire, I will message them and ask them for a meeting, ask them to get coffee, and just get to know them and get to understand what they do at work and what their path has been to get to where they are now. And this can really help you, one, just see to believe. They can just give you advice and impart whatever knowledge they've learned over the past however many years to get to where they are in you, so that you can take it and move forward with it. And maybe that also means saving you some lessons. So here are some action steps that you can take. Reach out to someone that you really admire in the workplace and just ask about their career path and how they got to where they got to. Take the time just to get to know some of your colleagues. Ask one of your peers if they want to grab lunch during a lunch break, and maybe during that lunch break you do some knowledge sharing. So I think the most important things with all of these steps is to also remain consistent with it, right? If you're just doing it as a one-off thing, it's not going to have as much impact as if you are consistently showing up as your best self and really wanting to improve your work or your workplace or your work environment in whatever way you can. Always seek feedback and understand what you could be doing better, or also what you have done well, and make sure to celebrate those wins. It's such a cool thing to maybe tie up a project that you've been working on for a while and you feel like you did a really good job. Before speeding through to the next thing, make sure you really celebrate that. So I really think by taking these steps, you can increase your visibility in the workplace, make a big impact, and ultimately, if your goal is to get promoted, doing these 4 things will for sure help with that. If you have a goal in mind, or if you want to share some of your action steps, please leave them in the comments. Always open to hearing them. They're always fun to read about other people's goals, and I'm also happy to share more about my career path and my career trajectory.